Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So in this video I'm going to talk about where are the best places to mount your cameras when making a motorcycle video. Catch you inside. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying this series so far. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bell and get all the latest videos. So on this video I'm really talking about where's the best place to mount your camera if you want to make a motorcycle video. So first of all, it really depends what kind of video do you want to make. Do you want to make a moto vlog? Then possibly I would say the best place to mount it is on your helmet. You can also get a chest cam, a chest brace, you know, for your GoPro. So I'm filming today on a Drift, a Ghost, but I'm also with a GoPro as well. So I'm using two cameras. But right now, this is with a Drift. So on the helmet, get the appropriate brackets. You can have a top mount on the top of your helmet or on a side mount. And I prefer to go on the top mount myself. Now, the reason being that you get a centralized view of the road or the trail ahead. You're also getting the rider's perspective. So wherever the helmet turns, you know, that's where the shot is going to track to. Now, one thing about motor vlogging you've got to be a bit aware of, that it can end up being a bit of a nodding donkey, the shot. You know, it's all over the place because you're moving your head all the time. So you've got to be conscious of your head movements and, you know, to make it think cinematically, if you know what I mean, for want of a better word. You got to think of the video shot, you know, so otherwise the shot will be all over the place. If you want a steady shot, then you really need to mount it on the bike itself. Now, where do you mount it on the bike? So there's so many different things, so many different places. Again, first of all, it really depends what kind of camera you got, what brackets are available, and then what mounting brackets are available. So let's say, for example, you wanted a side shot. Well, you could actually mount it with a bracket, like with a handlebar bracket on the side if you've got some engine guards. If you've got a tubular steel frame to your bike, you can actually mount it to the tubular steel, have it outwards, and then have it pointing forwards. Then you'll get a bit of a side view of the bike, but you'll get the road ahead. You can actually mount it low down here, like this, you see, and then it will like down here, and you get really close to the road as well. So that's quite a really good shot. I wouldn't say do the whole journey like that, but you know, just for, you know, editing purposes, it's a really great shot. You can have them forward facing, rearward facing. So having it low down on the bike somewhere is actually a really good place. You can try and mount it to your front suspension. Now you're going to need a big bracket, but you're also going to have to need you know, front forks, I mean, but you're going to need some either strap device. Now I've worked with straps before that will, you know, like a rubber strap that will hold the camera on, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, in all fairness. I would, you know, unless you're desperate to get this kind of shot here, I would kind of stay away from it myself. Now these are kind of upside down forks, so that's okay. All the movement is going in here inside, so this is not going to change here, but you're still, this movement is going to come here, so you've got to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the bike, you know, suspension as well. Otherwise you can knock your camera off it, destroy it all. You can look at trying to mount it here by the brake caliper. Again, you've got to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the tyre itself and the brake operation, of course. Now, I will say you're going to get lots of vibrations here. If you get the new cameras, you know, GoPro 5 onwards, the Drift Ghost, you know, sorry, 4K, you know, they got image stabilization built in, so that will knock out a lot of that, but you're going to be very close to the ground. So again, it works great for little quick editing shots, but for whole video, no, not that great. You will, however, get a really good impression of speed if you mount the camera low. Okay, so where else can you mount the camera? Well, also, if you've got a suction bracket like this, these are really good, and they're rated, you know, quite high. I think about 100 miles an hour in some cases. I think even more, possibly even 150 miles an hour. But you've got to make sure that it's on a completely flat surface, you know, and it's got really good suction. These work really well for, you know, car windscreens, that kind of thing, side windows. On bikes, depends. You know, say it's got to be completely flat and clean, otherwise if there's a little bit of air in there, they're not going to work very well. And I know, even a recent trip that I did, I was filming in Italy in the mountains. Unfortunately, this is all I had with me, and yeah, the camera came off the bike quite a few times. So, you know, even on the helmet, I thought I was trying it on the helmet, it didn't work either very well. I did for a little bit, but then it came off. So be aware of the suction mount, but once they're on a really flat surface, they're not going anywhere. They'd be fantastic. You can also get another, you know, like a tie it on with something, you know, a bit of string or wire, whatever, and tie it onto, I don't know, your frame or your handlebars or whatever. So even if it does work itself loose, then at least it's not going to go flying off down the road. Something that I should have done when I was there, but I didn't have any string or wire to hand. Anyway, right. So you can mount the cameras on the side of the bike. You know, either with suction mounts or with handlebar mounts, either on the tubular frame or anything that's sticking out that you think, okay, you can mount it on. You can mount it on the handlebars as well, depending on what kind of handlebars and what's in front of the handlebars. I would never shoot through a windscreen like that, because you get muck and crud on there and it just doesn't make a great shot. You can do, but it doesn't go. I mean, you can have a chest mounted camera as well, or like I say, a GoPros are really good for that, and that you'll get this whole view of the handlebars and everything like that. Again, if you don't have a windscreen, yeah, then I'd say if you've got a high handlebar like so, then yeah, mount it on top. And I've done that quite a few on other bikes, other bike videos I've done, you know, many years ago. I had a T-bar, I was riding a bobber, which I'd built, had some raised T-bars and they came quite high. So you had a great view of the road ahead, so that was really good. Okay, so it depends again on the bike as well. You can mount the camera to the mirrors, the mirror stalks, the indicator stalks. You can see there I've got one for the drift, and that's really great for a steady shot. Now on this bike, I'll show you, the handlebars and the steering move independently of the clocks and the headlights. So you've actually got a steady mount here. It'd be perfectly you know, focus on the road ahead or the track or the trail ahead. I actually like that shot, I like it a lot. But if you mount it to the handlebars or to the wing mirrors or, you know, anything like that, then you're going to get lots of movement on the, now it can work okay, but again, not for a continuous shot, it doesn't work that great. Okay, so, you know, either, you know, handlebars, just somewhere steady on the side, you know, off the tank, off the side of the tank, on top of the tank, not too bad. Either side, low down, you know, any midpoint. Then you can look at rearward, at the rear of the bike as well. So you can have a bracket here that'll bring the camera out a little bit, so you've got a forward-facing shot. Now that will give you a shot of the rider as well, you know, so you're getting that kind of riding shot experience. Either side, you know, works really well. If you want the traffic, you know, it depends where you are. Obviously, you know, in the UK, you know, we've got oncoming traffic on our right side. You know, in the US or in Europe, you know, it will be oncoming traffic will be on the left-hand side. So if you want the traffic shot, then you can have that. If you want an oncoming traffic shot, you can have that. If you don't want it, then go to the near side, and, you know, let's say for example in the US, then this will be on the right side of the bike. In the UK, it will be on the left side of the bike. So you're getting a good view of you know, the verge, what's off to the left or the right hand side of the you know, the countryside, on, you know, that's either side of the bike, so on and so forth. Okay, so you can either have it forward mounted, rear mounted, facing forward, facing rearwards. If you've got a rear shot here at the bracket, you can have it rearward facing. You can see what's going on behind you. Now, I would only really use that for a very short period of time. If, let's say, you're leaving somewhere that's really stunning, let's say a mountain peak or something like that, and you can have it, you know, disappearing off into the distance, great. If you're doing like a group riding type thing and you want to see all the rest of the other, you know, riders in the pack, as it were, yeah, have something like that, and you can see all the bikes behind you. So you can do, you know, lots of different things, and you can mount it low. You can try and mount it to a top box, whatever. If you've got you're riding with a pillion, you know, mount it to them, mount it to their, you know, to their helmet facing rearwards, or, you know, put a chest strap on them, but just have it reversed so it's pointing backwards. You know, lots of different ways. If you're a solo rider, well, you can have a chest bracket, one going forward, one going backwards. It really depends how many cameras you've got and so on and so forth. So, you know, I hope this helps. I hope this video helps. You know, there are many pitfalls with, you know, attaching cameras to bikes. You just got to be, you know, make sure they're really secure, and if you're in doubt, have a safety string or safety wire, you know, attached to the bikes. Even if it does work loose, then you've got something. Believe me, I've had lots of cameras in the past that have flown off bikes, and suppose, you know, securing them is a little bit, or certainly make sure that they're never going to move, and monitor them as you go along as well. But certainly for a moto vlog type thing, you know, you could really consider putting one on a helmet. And I would say on top of the helmet, and that avoids giving you, because if you mount it on the side of the helmet, you're always getting the side of the helmet in shot, and then if you don't want it, you're going to have to, you know, crop the picture in the editing, and you lose a lot. However, if you mount it on top, then you get the full width of the view, and you don't really have to edit it, you know, in terms of cropping. It works perfectly. If you're working with one camera, obviously you can just break up the journey and do lots of different shots, different angles, so on and so forth. If you're working with multiple cameras, or two cameras, or you're even more, then just put them all over the bike and just film continuously wherever you're going or whatever you're doing. And then afterwards, you've got a whole hours and hours of footage, let's say. You just have to line it all up, chop and change it, and away you go. You know, you get a great shot. Anyway, so hope that you found this useful. You know, where to mount cameras on a motorcycle. It's you know, it's, again, it comes down to your preference, what kind of shot you're after. Are there going to be lots of vibrations with the older cameras? Is that going to make much of a difference? The newer cameras, you've got image stabilization, that'll work better. If you mount them really low, then you might get lots of grit and everything kicking up from the ground. That might damage the camera, so you've got to be careful of that. But anyway, food for thought. Go and try it out, that's all I would say. Anyway, if you've got any comments, if you've got any ideas yourself, you know, please leave them down. Please leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, please like it. And, you know, if you just subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you get all the latest videos. Right, catch you on the next video, whenever that is. Cheers now.